Hello, and we're going to talk about the story, the lore for the horror faction in War Trigger the Third Lore. So, the horror are kind of this alien eldritch race from the depth of space. They're kind of all about kind of cosmic horror and weirdness. As to what they really are, it's not really quite clear. And certainly, humanity in the world of War Trigger aren't really sure exactly what it is. What they do know is it seems to be some sort of virus, and it might even be a kind of sentient virus. Or at least that's the idea that they've got. Because it seems like if you've got a human colony and there is no horror nearby, the horror aren't close, um, and they're not there's no kind of no horror's been seen there or anything like that. You still occasionally get this thing where some people start acting a bit weird. They start to kind of maybe do some strange things, start forming kind of these weird little cults, separating off from the rest of society and trying to study kind of these strange mathematics and science that kind of nobody else understands. And often the people who are doing this, they don't even really like realize it's anything weird. They just think they're starting to understand maybe some secret that like nobody else can understand, and they start to kind of get these ideas. And this can be a really slow process of maybe just one or two people, or even just one person starts kind of going down this path. But it seems like if this happens for long enough, you start seeing kind of the physical manifestations of the horror. So the way that humans suspect this might be working, the way the kind of current corporate theory on it, is that the horror is able to emit some kind of psychic beacon that is kind of sending these dreams and ideas to these people who that they've never had contact with. And essentially, if the people engage with those ideas enough and go far enough down that thought process, it eventually induces their body to start producing the virus. So up to this point, it's a really slow process, and actually, it would be kind of hard to detect across a galactic civilization because it would be hard to distinguish between like just odd behavior or kind of normal kind of psychoses or problems that people might be having, and to tell the difference between that and someone who's being influenced by the psychic beacon of the horror would be very hard to distinguish. But at some point, it kind of crosses this threshold. The virus starts to be produced inside their body, and that causes physical manifestation of changes. And once that starts, that's when things can start to become trouble real quick, because the virus that the horror has just completely can transform the biomass of a person into kind of seemingly whatever the horror needs, and it can reshape their bones, their muscles, their organs, towards whatever purpose the horror might have. And usually that first purpose is turning them into something that can be used to more rapidly spread the virus. And once they've got that kind of physical grip on someone, they will often transform them into some sort of creature like the spreaders, who can essentially directly inject the virus into other humans, and they can see a sort of rapid spread of it throughout colony. Over time, they can actually just convert entire ecosystems, so whole planets where all life on that planet has been converted and infected with the horror and somehow kind of transformed into something in service of the horror. It would be wrong to say that they hate humans. It's more like they see them as a source of raw materials. And there's also some evidence that the horror itself is looking for some answer to some question or some unknowable truth, something far beyond what humanity can fathom. But it seems like there is some agenda behind what they're doing. This is why Align Core talk about them having like being a sentient virus, because it's not like the virus just converts things and destroys stuff. It seems to move with purpose that is orchestrated across multiple planets and different locations. And there seems to be a pattern to what it's trying to do, but it's unclear exactly what it's searching for or what its ultimate goals are. There's also some examples that have been reported of seeing different factions within the horror. So we've seen groups of kind of horror troops going into a fight against another big group of horror troops. One of the theories behind this is that it's not one sentient virus, but multiple that are in conflict with each other. In some top secret research documents that some high up megacorp individuals have access to, they do have some evidence that this virus might actually come from maybe another dimension or some plane of existence that we're not normally aware of, particularly because of encounters with one of the horror units, the Avatar, which seems to suggest maybe this is part of their ultimate goal, is opening up a portal to this plane of existence and bringing something through. But again, it's very unclear kind of what that is from the point of view of humanity. What they think about the colonies, humans, Drazzle is really hard to say. They kill them where they can. They generally struggle to adapt Drazzle biomass, so usually they're more involved in destroying and wiping out the Drazzle when they get in their way. But otherwise, they're just looking for life on planets to consume, convert, infect, and transform towards whatever this disturbing kind of cosmic plan of theirs that they have. So if you want to play something that's viruses engaged in a cosmic war beyond human understanding, then the horror might be the faction for you. But that's the story of the horror.